Hello, and thank you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm your host, Courtney Bloomer, and today's episode is brought to you by the Red Wagon Network, bringing together businesses in Northern Nevada to provide support for their community. For more information about Red Wagon's programs, visit them at Red Wagon Network on Facebook. Our guest today is Dan Neverett, the president of the Carson City Leisure Hour Club. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you.
The Leisure Hour Club has been a Carson City installation now for 121 years.
Yep.
How did the club get started?
Well, originally it was back in 1897. There wasn't the media and the entertainment options that there are today. And a group of Carson City residents decided to get together and meet monthly and possibly have a speaker, all agree to read a book and discuss the book. They also were a social organization, so they had events, even large gala kinds of events up at Piper's Opera House and at the Opera House here in Carson City. They also eventually bought a clubhouse here. It was located where the new part of the Presbyterian Church is located now, and they sold that a little while ago. And so they did a variety of things, but on a monthly basis, and they don't meet in the summer. They only meet September through May.
All right, and the modern day leisure club, even though it is a very different time than when the club got started, is very similar. You guys still meet monthly and host different kinds of events.
Yeah, it's still focused on learning and exposing people to ideas and situations that wouldn't typically be available to them if they were sitting at home in front of their TV, in front of their computer. For example, last month we had one of our members, Kim Harris, do a Chautauqua of Laura Fair. She was a young lady who ran a boarding house up in Virginia City, fell in love with a married man, and eventually was responsible for the gentleman's death. Some of it's very varied. We have authors we have come in. We have performers come in. So it's pretty varied, the entertainment and the speakers that we have.
Now, for folks who might want to become involved with the Leisure Hour Club, how do you become a member?
It's pretty easy. We have a membership dues, and you join. There's annual dues, and it's $10 a year. And then it's a dinner meeting once a month. And you pay for the dinner, which is subsidized by the organization also. And we usually meet the third Wednesday of the month. And we're always looking for new members. It's a pretty fun organization. We currently have about 90 members.
All right, so a great chance to get together with some other people from Carson City and take in some entertainment and, like you mentioned, Chautauquas and learning and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. What kind of involvement? I know you guys recently made a donation to the Children's Museum. What kind of civic involvement does the club have?
About 5 years ago, we decided as an organization to try to recognize community activities and efforts and also focus on the academic side of it. So we currently give 3 scholarships to Western Nevada College, $1,000 scholarships. And we also recognized two organizations in the community which we feel give back to the community. This past year, we did the Children's Museum and we did the State Prison Historical Society or Association. And then this coming year, we're recognizing Muscle Powered, which is an organization here in Carson City. And we're also recognizing the Carson City Historical Society to help them restore the Roberts House, which you may know burned or had some arson earlier this year.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate incident, and it's great that you guys are able to step up through your membership and give back to some organizations in the community. What are some upcoming events that people can look forward to in the next couple of months?
On Wednesday, March 15th, which I believe is the third Wednesday of the month, we have Laura Miles, who is an attorney with RSVP, and she's going to be talking about elder abuse and some of the scams that are prevalent in the area, especially for the senior population. But things that occur to all of us where they call you and tell you that your grandson is in jail someplace and that you need to send $5,000 down to the Virgin Islands somewhere.
Right. and it's good to get that information out there.
Yes, and then following that is an author who is going to be speaking about his books, and he's also going to be talking about how you get a book published. So it's a little different slant on having an author speak. And then the final one is a gentleman who's involved with a group here in Carson City, which provides an opportunity for veterans to fly in vintage planes.
Oh, how fun.
And so that's the last speaker for the year.
So the year for the Leisure Hour Club does not start in January.
No, it starts in September and ends in May.
All right. So wrapping up this year, and then do people need to start their memberships at the start of the year, or can they join anytime?
They can join anytime, but if I guess if a member or somebody from the community were interested, we'd suggest that they delay their membership because they might be paying them dues now and then paying it again in September.
All right. And where can they get that information about where to sign up?
They can just send an email to ccleisurehourclub@gmail.com, and we'll provide them with the application and other information on the organization.
All right. Sounds like a great organization, and you, of course, are the president, and we look forward to seeing more Leisure Hour Club activities happening here in Carson City.
Well, hopefully you'll read about them in the appeal and see them on Carson Now.
Right. I have definitely seen those, and so that's another great place that our viewers can go and learn more about what's going on and what upcoming events they might want to take part in.
Right.
Now, aside from being the president of the Leisure Hour Club, you serve as a tour guide at our state capitol and at the State Museum. As most people know by now, the legislature is in session. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a tour guide at the Capitol during a legislative session.
It's always fun, but it's more fun when the legislature is like kind of wall-to-wall people. I did a tour today, and we were asked to leave one of the committee rooms because there was a hearing next door, and there were so many people and so much media there that they had to go into the next room also and have people sitting in there. So it's always fun, and you do meet a wide variety of people, although probably most of our guests are students from within the state, from Reno, Las Vegas, and pretty much almost anywhere else in the state who come up to the Capitol to see the Capitol and then to possibly view the legislature while it's in session. But it's fun.
All right. What is as a tour guide, what is your favorite thing on the tour? If I were coming to the Capitol, what is the must-see thing?
I think I would say you need to go to the Assembly Chamber in the new legislative building and see the Nevada Lincoln portrait, which has got a significant history behind it. It was purchased by the state for our 50th birthday, and it's kind of related. It's been shot several times, so there's a significant story behind the portrait, and I'm not going to give away any secrets.
If you want to know, you have to go on the tour.
That's right. Exactly right, Courtney.
All right, fantastic. And tell us when those tours are taking place.
Anytime during the day, Monday through Friday, and you just call the Legislative Police Office, ask for Megan, and she'll schedule the tour and set something up for you.
Now, how many people need to be there to go on a tour?
It's not limited by anything, but most of our tours are involved with either a group of an organization or a school class. But we can do tours for any number, really. All
right. So for folks who want to know a little bit more about Nevada and some of our state's history, maybe a tour of the legislature would be a good option for them.
And the Capitol and the State Museum. There's lots of things to see.
That's true. There is a lot to see. You do tours for all three. What is the most interesting thing that you have learned as a tour guide about Nevada? What is something you did not know when you started doing this that you now think is really interesting?
That at least when I came here, I really didn't know. I came from New York State, so I really didn't know anything about Nevada history. But it's been an interesting learning experience in terms of the changes that have occurred in Nevada during a relatively short period of time. One of the most interesting things is the casino that existed in the Nevada State Prison for a significant period of time that our inmates could bet gamble.
Right.
And it was run as a regular casino would be in the prison, and the inmates were both the dealers and the managers for the games and the participants.
All right. Well, that is something that I didn't know, and probably a lot of people didn't know about Nevada. And that doesn't go on anymore.
Well, not since they've closed the prison, at least.
All right. Dan Neverett, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing with us about the Carson City Leisure Hour Club and also about some of the exciting things that are taking place down at the Capitol and at the State Museum. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Well, thank you for asking me.
All right. And thanks to all of you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City, brought to you by the Red Wagon Network. Visit them at Red Wagon Network on Facebook. If your business or organization would like to sponsor a future edition of It's Your City, please contact Darla at the address shown on your screen. I'm Cortney Bloomer. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.